The MCU has shown us so many mesmerizing sights over the years, but beyond the jaw-dropping abilities of its frontline superheroes, it's also introduced us to weapons and items of virtually untold power. And of course, comic book fans love nothing more than quibbling over power rankings online. So, poring back over the MCU's entire back catalogue of amazing trinkets, these are the ones that shake out as the most unstoppably powerful. I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are the 10 most powerful items in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Number 10, the Hadron Enforcer. Perhaps the MCU's most unsung, ultra-powerful weapon is Rocket Raccoon's Hadron Enforcer, which appeared in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. The weapon can fire a bullet containing hadron particles, triggering a massively powerful explosion which, according to Rocket anyway, is capable of blowing up a moon. Though we sadly don't see the full extent of the Hadron Enforcer's capabilities in the film itself, we do see Drax fire it at Ronan, destroying his Cosmi Rod and releasing the Power Stone, and that's a testament to its destructive potential. However, the fact that Ronan was himself able to withstand a hit from it due to being equipped with the aforementioned stone does ensure that it can't rank any higher than 10. But assuming that Rocket is indeed telling the truth about its ability to annihilate moons, then the Enforcer's absolutely worthy of a spot here. Sadly as well, the weapon has been MIA since its first and only appearance, perhaps because James Gunn appreciated that it was a little too OP for its own good. Number 9, Pym Particles. Though not inherently ultra-destructive weapons, the Pym Particles are undeniably some of the most useful and potent items in the MCU. The subatomic particles can be used to shrink and embiggen the mass of a desired target, whether friend or foe, during a combat situation. The benefit of being able to grow to the size of a skyscraper or shrink an enemy down to the size of an inspect does speak for itself, though the Pym Particles' true genius lies in allowing the user access to the quantum realm. More to the point, in Avengers Endgame, the particles were of course instrumental in facilitating time travel in order to undo the blip. And on the other side of the coin, 2014, Thanos himself used the particles to travel to 2023 with his entire army, showing just how extensively they can be weaponized. Given both their combat usefulness and ability to let the user literally erase undesirable outcomes, the Pym Particles are easily one of the most versatile creations in the entire universe. Number 8, the Twilight Sword. Another underappreciated yet supremely powerful weapon is the Twilight Sword that's wielded by the fire demon Surtur in Thor Ragnarok. At the very start of that film, the sword helps the demon put up a laudable fight against Thor, its flame repelling the Asgardian for a good few seconds. But that alone wouldn't be enough to earn it a spot on this list. It's actually the fact that Surtur later uses the Twilight Sword to bring about the prophesized apocalyptic event known as Ragnarok. In the film's climax, Surtur drives the sword down into the core of Asgard, triggering a colossal extinction-level explosion which totally obliterates the realm. It's later revealed that Asgard's destruction instantly killed 9,719 Asgardians, and if that ain't power, then what is? Even so, it's fair to say that we've probably not seen the full capabilities of the Twilight Sword in action, given that in the comics it was also able to shatter dimensional barriers and overpower Odin. Number 7, Reset Charge. The Loki Disney Plus series introduced one of the MCU's most fascinating weapons to date in the Reset Charge, a grenade-like device used by the Time Variance Authority to prune branched timelines. Basically, they can be deployed to wipe out entire realities deemed undesirable by the TVA in pursuit of protecting the sacred timeline. Or, as Loki himself bluntly puts it, they can disintegrate everything in its vicinity. But because matter can't simply be destroyed, the pruned branches instead end up in the void at the end of time, a horrifyingly bleak dumping ground for everything the TVA discards. Once there, the pruned targets are then left to be devoured by the trans-temporal entity known as Alioth, which is just lovely, isn't it? What a way to go. Number 6, All Black, the Necrosard. Thor: Love and Thunder opens up by demonstrating the supreme capabilities of All Black, the Necrosard, a bladed weapon discovered by Gore the God Butcher and used to, well, you probably guessed it, butcher gods. Now, the ease with which the Necrosard allows Gore to kill gods makes its supreme power evident in record time. And after the opening, where we see it directly in action take out a god, throughout the rest of the film, Gorr uses it to slaughter a number of massively potent gods as well, albeit disappointingly largely off-screen. The Necrosard additionally elevates the user's natural abilities to a superhuman level, allowing them to teleport between dimensions and lets them also conjure shadow monsters to do their bidding. But the weapon's use, of course, comes with a price. It has a corrupting influence over Gorr and curses him with impending death, as is eventually realized at the film's end. Even so, Gorr very nearly accomplishes his goal of wiping out the gods once and for all, and that's all thanks to the Necrosard. Number 5, the 10 Rings. It took longer than expected for the 10 Rings to finally make their legit MCU debut, but they were most certainly worth the wait. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings immediately made a persuasive case for the trinkets being among the franchise's most powerful items, which granted villain Wenwu immortality and godlike abilities from the moment he put them on. The film also implies that the rings have allowed Wenwu to live for thousands of years as an effortlessly unchallenged conqueror throughout history. Beyond this, and bestowing the user with superhuman physical abilities, they can also fire lethal projectiles and concussive blasts, deflect bullets, create platforms, and generate energy fields. The modular nature of the rings is also extremely useful, given that by wearing a different number of them on, say, each arm, their power can be distributed differently around the wearer's body. Beyond all this, the rings were ultimately used to defeat the Dweller in Darkness with a single blow, and generated so much energy that it was picked up by Wong in Kamar Taj. Number 4, Mjolnir. It simply isn't possible to make this list without including Thor's trusty hammer Mjolnir, which through its sheer versatility might be the most well-rounded of all the major MCU weapons. Forged in the heart of a dying star and enchanted by Odin, Mjolnir is an extremely durable weapon primarily used to deliver massive blunt force damage, capable of obliterating most everything in its path, whether wielded in the hand or thrown through the air. It's also able to manipulate the elements such as lightning as well, lets anyone worthy enough to wield it fly, quickly changes their costume, heals them, and of course allow them to possess godlike strength and durability. Plus, you can recall it from basically anywhere, even across realms, to the very spot you're standing in. And in Thor Love and Thunder, Mjolnir somehow proved itself even more powerful by reforming after being shattered by Hela in Thor Ragnarok, and granting Jane Foster the power of a god, albeit at the eventual cost of her mortal life. Number 3, Darkhold and the Book of Ashanti. It wouldn't be right to include one of these items without the other, given that they're effectively the antithesis of one another, but on their own terms, the Darkhold and the Book of Ashanti are insanely powerful. In Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Scarlet Witch wields the Darkhold, a book containing dark magic spells of near-limitless power, which ultimately corrupts her mind in her quest to be reunited with the children that she created in Westview. The Darkhold basically allows the user to do whatever they want, such as navigating the multiverse and possessing other versions of themselves, while also massively boosting the powers of magic users. However, it also made them dangerously obsessed with the book itself. Most perilously though, the Darkhold could even cause the destruction of entire universes through the act of dreamwalking. On the other hand, the Book of Ashanti basically gave sorcerers all the tools they needed to win, and in particular negate the effects of the Darkhold's magic, even if it was ultimately destroyed by Scarlet Witch. When debating their relative power, it's basically apples and oranges, but the abilities both books grant to their users is frankly too much for even the most well-meaning hero. Number 2, Stormbreaker. It didn't seem possible that Thor could end up with a mightier weapon than Mjolnir. But following the hammer's temporary destruction, he forged the mesmerizingly superior enchanted axe, Stormbreaker. While superficially quite similar to his previous hammer, Stormbreaker is a larger weapon and, as a bladed object, is capable of impaling a target. But most crucially, it can summon the Bifrost, allowing Thor and anyone with him to immediately travel between the 9 realms, which Mjolnir just cannot do. And best of all, it was even shown withstanding a blast from a fully stocked Infinity Gauntlet in Avengers Infinity War, enough that Thor was still able to plunge it into Thanos' chest. And the Russo brothers have since confirmed that Mjolnir wouldn't have been able to survive this encounter with the Gauntlet. But as this apparently still wasn't enough, Thor Love and Thunder then revealed that Stormbreaker also has a sentience of sorts, because hey, why the hell not? Number 1, the Infinity Gauntlet. And finally, could there be anything else for our pick for number 1? The Infinity Gauntlet grants the wearer virtually limitless power that's near impossible to overcome. If the gauntlet is fully loaded with all 6 Infinity Stones, the user can freely manipulate the elements of space, time, reality, power, mind, and soul, and even combine different stones for more powerful effects. Well, as long as they're strong enough to withstand the power output from when they do click their fingers. But of course, what decisively makes the Gauntlet number 1 with a bullet is the wearer's ability to basically make anything they want a reality with the mere snap of a finger. And in the case of Thanos, this was, of course, wiping half the universe out of existence. Hell, Thanos even later used the Gauntlet to destroy the Infinity Stones themselves, something nothing else on this list could get close to doing. But as I mentioned, wielding the Gauntlet does come with caveats, as the barrier for entry is extremely high, given that humans cannot withstand the mental and physical strain of wielding it. Still, all in all, the Infinity Gauntlet's power is categorically unmatched in the MCU so far, and it's tough to imagine anything we might see in the future that could possibly top it. But as ever, we'll have to wait and see. So that's our list. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are there any other powerful MCU items that we forgot on here? And what do you think about this ranking? Did we get it right? Let me know, and while you're down there, if you could, please give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to whatculture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. Even if you don't though, I've been Josh, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.